With 2026 right around the corner, you may be thinking about taking the opportunity to celebrate Route 66 on its great centennial, the 100th anniversary. Well, I think that's a great idea, but I also have a whole bunch of advice for you because I recently made the entire trip from Chicago to Santa Monica, all 2,448 miles of her, through 8 states and 3 time zones. And you know what? I do the trip differently now, knowing what I know. So perhaps I can help you with your Route 66 planning, and I want to, in this episode, answer the big question everybody has asked me over and over again. Hey Jeff, what's the one thing you saw on Route 66, the one highlight, the most memorable reason that I should jump in the car and take the road trip? And I will get to that in a minute, so be sure to stay tuned. For our Route 66 3-week trip, we stayed in 15 Best Western branded hotels along the route, including their boutique, glow, and upscale premier locations, which offer a modern and contemporary twist for all types of travelers. We stayed directly in the city in Chicago and Albuquerque, in a tree-covered section of Flagstaff and Williams, near the airport in St. Louis, around the corner from some of Oklahoma's and Texas's most popular Route 66 attractions, and more. Now, first, I want to just talk about why visiting the entirety of Route 66 is a bucket list item that everybody has to cross off. Route 66 is important because it was America's first highway, created as a way to bring business to the many small-town merchants who were being overlooked. Now, when you cut to the 1950s, there's a presidential decision to create superhighways, eventually leaving Route 66 in the dust. But you know what? It's still there, and it's ready for your business. Would you like to get your kicks by seeing the America of Elvis, Maryland, milkshakes, bowling alleys, old western towns, and such? Because it's still alive on Route 66, if you know where to look. Now, the first question is, how do you want to do it? The sign on the Santa Monica Pier clearly states, it's the end of the road. And the sign in Chicago is, here it starts. So if you live in California like I do you just start here and work your way back to Chicago? Or do you do as I did, fly to Chicago, rent a car, and take the drive the way Nat King Cole intended? As we all know, the trip is immortalized in song as one that is all about motoring west. This is how most people do it, and it's the one that I would recommend. You get to see the landscape change in a way that is just so dramatic. Farms and prairies of the Midwest to the red rocks of the Southwest, getting redder and redder along the way. Verdict, fly to Chicago. So how much time do you have? We did it in 3 weeks, which is more than most people are willing to devote to this ride. You know, my number one regret was that 3 weeks wasn't enough. I wish we had taken 5 weeks, maybe 6. And I know that's unrealistic for most people, but at 3 weeks, 2,500 miles, you're going to miss a lot. I know I did. So what to do? First of all, don't do it in 1 week. That's just too crazy because you're just going to spend most of your time driving and you'll never get out. I'm going to map out a 2-week and a 3-week itinerary for you. Stay tuned for those. And something else you really need to know that people do not tell you. Route 66 still exists, but not completely. Portions of the road is like it used to be back in the 1950s and 60s. Other parts disappeared. Your navigation system, pay attention here, it doesn't know anything about Route 66. It will do everything possible not to let you ride it, but instead throw you onto the highway. Same thing for maps. To get around this, there are apps, there are books. I didn't really find any apps I really liked, but the book of choice is Easy 66 Guide for Travelers by Jerry McClanahan, and it's considered the gold standard because it has turn-by-turn directions in both directions, both ways. Meanwhile, I have put together a few little quick thumbnails on each state so you get an idea of what you have to look forward to. Illinois, you will start in Chicago, of course. You will have some amazing deep dish pizza. You will marvel at the local architecture. You'll pick up your car. You'll have breakfast at Lou Mitchell's, which is the unofficial starting point for Route 66. It's home of the fluffiest eggs I ever had in my life. Then try getting on 66 for a few blocks. It's not easy. You're going to be thrown onto the highway. You'll eventually pick it up about an hour into the trip. Now your key stops: Pontiac, which is home of great murals, a cool museum, and one of our favorite diners, the Old Log Cabin, where I had a killer grilled cheese and milkshake. Does that scream Route 66?
Look what we got here. You can't go to a diner without a classic vanilla shake, right?
All right.
I also loved Atlanta, yes, Atlanta, Illinois, and the land of the giants, massive roadside sculptures, but we got there too late in the day to check out the stores. Next time, arrive earlier. The Lincoln Museum in Springfield, Illinois is world-class, a must-stop, devoted, of course, to Abe Lincoln. Missouri. I would have skipped St. Louis, as being in a big city on a backroads trip wasn't my cup of tea, but then others I spoke to on the road said it was their favorite, so what do you know? The most memorable experience of the entire ride was in the other Springfield, Missouri, where our hotel room at the Best Western was none other than the Elvis Suite. I also loved the Big 66 Drive-In near Joplin, a great old classic outdoor movie theater like they used to make. In Kansas, we've got a teeny small town called Galena that trumpets its 13.2 miles worth of Route 66 loudly. There was a little former gas station in town. It's been turned into a curio shop with an outgoing former Los Angelino who fell in love with Route 66 and moved to Kansas. Where do you see his bathroom?
So I wanted a pink restroom. So I have a pink 1952 toilet. I have my pink and white checkerboard floor. Behind her, I heated and bent wrenches for hooks, for your bag, your jacket, whatever. Recycled pallet wood, diamond plate aluminum. My toilet paper is held up with a C-clamp and wrenches. My divider is 1930 Ford Model A hood size. A powder-coated funnel is the urinal. Those right there, these eliminate the guesswork.
Oklahoma. There's so much here. Starting with Tulsa, one of the larger towns that's home to a neon row of classic Route 66 on 11th Street, beautiful old Art Deco buildings downtown that were built on oil money back when Tulsa was one of the largest cities in the nation, world-class museums devoted to, would you believe, Bob Dylan and Woody Guthrie, and some really nice people. Tiny Stroud, Oklahoma has seen better days, but the Rock Cafe still rocks. It's where we got some killer oatmeal pie with a Klondike bar atop. The owner of the cafe was the inspiration for the female lead in the Cars film from Pixar. You'll see a lot of Cars references all up and down Route 66. The movie takes place on Route 66. Oklahoma City, looking mighty pretty. The largest city in Oklahoma also has some great neon, a memorial to the bombing tragedy of 20 years ago. Just outside of Oklahoma City, I got some of my best photos in Luther, a tiny town near the Round Barn, photographing abandoned homes and cars, which brings us to Texas. The top spot for most folks is the Cadillac Ranch in Amarillo, with 10 cars planted in the ground. And it's just down the street from the Big Texan, where a 72-ounce steak is free if you could eat it all in an hour. My favorite was Shamrock, a tiny town best known for the Art Deco neon-adorned You Drop In Cafe, which is famous for their brisket plates. Adrian, Texas is where to stop for the classic midpoint marker, showing that you are halfway between Chicago and Los Angeles. Loved it. In New Mexico, Tucumcari has the best collection of neon on Route 66, but it's another town that's seen better days. On the drive out of Tucumcari, we saw the biggest endless parade of abandoned motels, restaurants, diners, stores, you name it. Very sad. Still, Tucumcari was the highlight of New Mexico beyond the open road, which is gorgeous, which brings us into Arizona. Biggest stretch of drivable Route 66, the most to see and gawk at. There were the wigwams and the petrified forest of Holbrook, the standing on a corner statue in Winslow, the cute downtown of Flagstaff, which is right on 66, Seligman, the town that time forgot, but for a barber named Angel who fought to revive it, it's a must-stop, and Williams, a little town near the Grand Canyon with fun curio shops, and the best collection of pies we saw anywhere from the Pine Country Diner. Cool Springs, before you reach the town of Oatman, is where you got the iconic Route 66 shield painted on the road, which is a must-have photo for many people, and surprisingly, was kind of hard to come by. Oatman, which is the last stop in the state, is a great old western town just like Bonanza. It has one restaurant, and it's where mules run free through the streets. Last stop is California, where it all ends. You'll cross into the desert town of Needles, most famous as being the hottest spot in the nation, usually during the summer. Before you reach the Santa Monica Pier, at the end of the road, you've got Amboy, a town with one of the best neon signs, but no hot food or drink at the cafe because there's no access to running water. There is one of those great Route 66 shield signs right in front. A lot of people use that as the Route 66 shot. Elsewhere in California, you can't beat the Fair Oaks Pharmacy, which has a classic soda fountain, and it's a great stop for shakes, malts, phosphates, sundaes, you name it. And then you're going to get in your car, go down the road, and call it a day in Santa Monica. So what's that number one highlight? Well, when we come back from the break, I'm going to reveal all. I promise. Before the break, I said I would reveal finally at last the number one most important highlight of Route 66, the question that so many people have asked me. And the verdict? You're probably not going to like it. It is any time that you could actually be on Route 66 and not the highway, because this is one masterpiece of an open road. You get to see the landscape, as I noted. You'll see it change in front of your very eyes, something that you would never see from an airplane window. Now, sure, you could do any kind of cross-country trip you like, and yeah, the landscape might change a bit, but you'll be on a major interstate. And you're looking at 4 lanes, and the only stops will be roadside. Route 66 is about the journey, the totality of the trip, not any one destination. That's the number one highlight. On Route 66, when you pull over, you're going to walk into great mom and pop shops and meet folks like Aaron, Cindy, Leanne, and some of the other new friends that we made out on the road. I can't wait to go back. Now, if you still insist on highlights, here's my top 5. Stepping into the old Log Cabin Diner in Pontiac, Illinois, it's like a page from the old Twilight Zone series, because the place is that old. Driving the back road from Kingman, Arizona to Oatman on what's called the Oatman Highway, this is a car manufacturer's dream, curvy and windy, a little scary, dramatic, but absolutely stunning. Hanging out in the middle of the road in Adrian, Texas, home to the Midpoint Cafe, it's so quiet you could easily take a photo there, in the middle of the road. Driving down Main Street in Tucumcari and all that great neon. The rolling farmlands of Illinois and Missouri, the type of beauty we just don't see out west. So I really loved it. Plus, of course, making all those new friends along the way. Does that sound pretty memorable? Because it sure does to me.
This is Brian from Liverpool on Photo Walks on Route 66.
Oh, I feel like it's pretty difficult to compare Poland to US.
You know, I asked somebody from Europe that. I said, I'm so fascinated at the fact that y'all come from Europe to a place like Shamrock, Texas. And they said it in a way that I was like, okay, that makes so much sense. You know, and they said just like this. The man that I asked said, Egypt has the pyramids. And he said, America, to us in Europe, has Route 66. Like, that's y'all's thing. We come to see that. And I was like, okay, I can wrap my mind around that. It's our thing. For Europeans, for people around the world, the Mother Road, Route 66 is like the Great Pyramid, you know. And to us, that's my reaction. I was like, really? Like, I mean, but it is. It's like the thing that people come to America to see, which I would think would be like, you know, Mount Rushmore, or, you know, like things like that, but it's not. It's Route 66.
We've got one big, beautiful, amazing country out there. Get out and enjoy it. So for your short itinerary, I recommend that you pick and choose because you can't see it all unless you're willing to devote 5 or 6 weeks. The minimum is 2 weeks. And here's how I would do it. Chicago to Springfield, Illinois, that's a 3-hour drive. Springfield to Rollo, Missouri, that's 3 hours. Rollo to Springfield, Missouri, 2 hours. Springfield to Tulsa, 3 hours. Tulsa to Oklahoma City, which is 2 hours. Oklahoma City to Shamrock, Texas, 2.5 hours. Shamrock to Amarillo, 90 minutes. Amarillo to Tucumcari, another 90 minutes. Tucumcari to Albuquerque, 2.5 hours. Albuquerque to Gallup, 2 hours. Gallup to Flagstaff, 3 hours. Flagstaff to Kingman, 2 hours, Kingman to Barstow, which is a 3-hour drive, and finally Barstow to Santa Monica, which you'll get there via Pasadena. Now, if you can afford more than 2 weeks, then you can stay longer than just one night each in each of these stops. I like 2 or 3. Also, don't forget that there were some pretty memorable side trips that you might want to consider. Santa Fe, New Mexico was once part of Route 66, then got wiped out with a new alignment. A visit to one of America's most memorable and historic cities is 1 hour off the route, and of course, 1 hour to get back. The Red Rocks of Sedona, it's about a half-hour drive from Flagstaff. The Grand Canyon, one of the great wonders of the world, that's about 1 hour north of Williams. Now, once you hit Kingman, Arizona, a detour to Las Vegas is roughly 90 minutes off the route. And I know a lot of people like to do that. When you get to Amboy, California, a side road will welcome you to a 2-hour drive to Joshua Tree National Park. So these are all things to consider, and you now know why you can't do this in 1 week. Finally, if you're looking for a place to stay on your motor trip, may I recommend Best Western Hotels and Resorts, which sponsor this series. We stayed in 15 Best Western hotels over the 3-week journey, a mixture of everything from classic roadside to larger airport, upscale contemporary nostalgic inns, and beautifully furnished local gems. Best Western has always been my favorite hotel company to stay with because they're affordable, they're comfortable, they're friendly, they've always treated me nicely, and the loyalty program is very generous. I got a lot of free nights there. Now, I'm not just giving you jive. This is all the truth. This is all real. It was always my dream that one day Best Western would sponsor the show. So you know what? I couldn't be more thrilled about the partnership. And as you know, I love those Best Western waffles, especially the Texas-shaped ones in Amarillo and Shamrock. When we return from the break, it's Route 66 photo tip time. It's time for a photo tip segment where I offer suggestions on how to get pro-level vacation photos with your phone. Number 1, clean that lens, please, because the camera is rustling in our pockets and purses and it gets filthy. A cloth will do the trick. Number 2, check the battery, because I don't want you going out on a day of Route 66 shooting with a battery at 10%. Before you leave for your trip, buy an accessory battery in the form of a power bank that will keep you going all day. If you're an iPhone user, the MagSafe models will snap directly onto the back of your phone, and they're great. If you have Android, you'll need to buy a MagSafe case to snap the power bank onto. Number 3, check storage. The best time to clear your phone and make room is before the trip, so you don't get those nasty out-of-storage messages when you're out shooting. I don't want that to happen. Number 4, signs. Be sure to nab the welcome to, greetings from signposts. They work really well as markers to help you remember where you went, to tell your travel story, and to add to online videos. They also make a fantastic selfie spot. Number 5, speaking of selfies, nobody should leave home without a selfie stick. They may seem corny, but they do a really good job for helping us get better selfies, because the distance from our faces with the stick makes us look better. I film every episode of Photo Walks with a selfie stick. They're also great for video pans. Number 6, tourist offices and postcards. The visitor center always makes sure to visit them first to pick up brochures and tips and check out the postcards to see what the great local shots are. They're a great stop for inspiration. Number 7, bad weather, no problem. As you'll see when we visit New Mexico in an upcoming Route 66 episode, a rainstorm only makes for better neon photos. Smartphones are water resistant, so you can use them in the rain without worry. They do a great job snapping the reflections in the water and sidewalks created by the rain. Number 8, shade. The best place to get nice portraits of someone during the day is in the shade for nice, even, flat, flattering facial tones. Photos taken in bright sunlight produce raccoon-like shadows and do not make us look good. Number 9, keep moving. That's shade part 2. If you're taking a photo of someone in the middle of the day and they don't look so great, keep moving until they do. Go left, right, behind, in front. Keep trying until one of those angles work, and one of them should work. Number 10, sunsets. Don't be in a rush to leave. The best colors of a sunset show up around 10 to 15 minutes after the sun has fallen. What's the hurry? You have nowhere to go. You're on vacation. Number 11, take video and stills at the same time. It's easy to do. Once you click the red record button, the white shutter for stills also shows up. This way you don't have to toggle back and forth between video and stills. Number 12, live photos. Don't you hate it when you've snapped someone's photo and their eyes are closed? With Apple's Live Photos trick, you shoot 3 seconds of video with the photo, and you can go back in later in the edit and open up their eyes. So be sure to turn on live photos if you have an iPhone. Number 13, make use of time-lapse videos to watch the world fly by at super speeds. They're fun and easy to do, and all you need is a tripod and a smartphone mount, as well as patience. Every phone has a time-lapse feature in the camera app. Number 14, override auto because it's not always right. If it doesn't look good, play with your settings. Number 15, the 1x lens is your sharpest lens and the best in low light. Try to use it most of the time, especially indoors. So that's a wrap. Remember, plan ahead, pick and choose, have fun, take your time, see the USA. If you have any questions about your Route 66 planning, travel photography, or whatever, I'm just one click away. PhotowalksTV@gmail.com. I can't wait to hear from you. Meanwhile, I'm Jefferson Graham, and I'll see you on the next Photo Walk.